What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part, I want to say 58 of my Total Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz campaign. So as we saw last time, Simon over here and his Moor army decided to have a very nice little battle against the enemy Tomb Kings and knocked down a Necrosphinx. That said, it made me jealous of the Necrosphinx, and we want to get a Necrosphinx of our own, at least two. I think they would go very well in the Moor army. It feels like it would make sense for that army. So I asked you guys what you thought about allying with Kotep, who's all the way up here somewhere, and it was pretty much a resounding yeah, do it. So we're going to try to ally with Kotep and have access to Tomb King units, which would be nice. Problem with Kotep is he is currently at war with the Heralds of Ariel, so they probably won't appreciate it, but he's also at war with a bunch of Dark Elves, so maybe they'll make peace at some point, and we'll see, I guess. Also, Imric really doesn't like us anymore. Too many treaties with all the dwarfs. He is getting real pissy about that. We may have to destroy Imric at some point. And when I say destroy, I mean take his stuff and give it all to the dwarfs, because I mean, why wouldn't we? We have all these guys protecting our borders, and we might as well continue doing so. Anyway, where is Kotep? T for Tomb Kings, Exiles of Nehek. That's you. So let's get non-aggression pact, military access, trade agreement. Why not? And ideally, we want to get him to join a war against the faction that we are currently fighting, as in a faction that won't be dead in 2 turns, like the followers of Nagash. And the reason for that is because that's the only way we'll have quests available to get extra allegiance and farm allegiance that way. Now, Grimgor. Grimgor's a decent option, I think. Let's do Grimgor. Join war against Grimgor's Ard Boys. Minus 8.3, wow. Oh, this only doesn't cost 6,000 gold. I mean, I guess we could do without the military access. Oh, wow, he wants the military. Damn it. Okay, fine. Let's just do the payments. The trade agreement will pay for this in a few turns, and wait a second. This is non-aggression pact. Oh, he doesn't really want the defense alliance as much yet, but I'm willing to bet he will. Still join the war proposed offer, plus this will make him weaker and probably want the alliance more, and there's only 5k to get him into an alliance, though that will give us vision of a bunch of Dark Elf factions, but you know, it's kind of inevitable that we'll eventually get into a war with them anyway. He's also friendly with the Cult of Pleasure, but generally speaking, that's pretty much always the case. Anyway, we will probably align with him, but let's see if we need the money for something else first this turn, and then we will deal with it. Now, there are a few other things that we want to do. First of all, Marathi has come down, and while her stack isn't super strong, Marcus's stack is very badly damaged due to some garbage that happened here, wherein Pahwaks decided that, no, you know what, we're not under siege anymore magically, even though the settlement should have been ours. So the bug definitely cost us quite a bit, as obviously Marcus would have been able to heal up in Pahwaks after that. So now Marathi is looking to land at the High Sentinel, though there is also a decent chance that she bypasses it and goes for the Temple of Kara instead. Too bad we can't just directly attack her in the sea while she's in march stance. Well, this is a port after all. But oh well, we can't. Channeling stance doesn't cost any movement, and therefore going into regular stance won't change anything. Now, that said, there's a couple other things that we want to do to make sure that if we do fight Marathi, and that they go well. So, I think what we're going to do is take the Elector Count of Hawkland away from Peter. Though he has done a decent job with it, I think the range and reload would be better served on Marcus. Instead, we'll send Peter. Actually, maybe we can keep the Goblin Fang for him. I'll think about it. I do like the armor reduction that it gives in the melee defense reduction, though to be fair, that doesn't actually help his ranged army all that much. Anyway, I was thinking we make him the Elector Count of Stirland instead. Why? Ambush defense chance, well, that doesn't really matter, but the buffs here are kind of meh either way, and currently Kurt Haldenstrad has it, but he doesn't really benefit from it all that much anyway. Although, on the other hand, the Sterling Runefang, melee attack plus 10 probably wouldn't belong with him anyway, but we could just pass the Sterling Runefang to somebody else if we wanted to. Anyway, you are going to not be this electric count anymore. You... Do we have to directly kick you, or... Wait, can we do the same thing in one turn? Yeah, we can. Alright, so kick you. Like so. Then we put... Where's P? Oh, great. Now we're going to have to try to find him in here. Or Cure. You know what? Maybe we actually give the electric count of Sterling, because of the melee attack plus 10, to the Moor army for now. Like so. Simon. That might be pretty good. A leadership on in foreign territory and ambush defense chance. I doubt that they're going to do either, but it kind of makes sense for Moor. Why? And because Stirland was given Sylvanian territory in the lore, and thus an army of Moor to help out with Sylvania kind of makes sense to me. Loreful. Absolutely loreful. Next up, Hockland. Where is Mr. Legend Man? Oh, Marcus, that's you. Who do you think is Mr. Legend? Thank you. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. Now, an additional 10% range and reload reduction on his army will make him even more powerful. I hope that the Goblin Bane didn't go to him, though, because he obviously doesn't want to lose his Amber Bow. No, he did not. Okay, good. Huh. If we really wanted to, we could give the... what was it called? The Goblin Bane to somebody in his army, but once again, it feels like a melee thing. You know what, Peter, hold on to it for now. I'll figure out which army we want to send that to. Simon, though, you can take Kurt's weapon, which is Orcure. Plus 10 melee attack should be quite nice for your army. And we also gotta do your, we gotta do all of your ancillaries and items and stuff, but, well, we can do it later. Not super important right now. Anyway, we still have the Wizard Caliph's Palace, so the question here is how do we deal with it? You could move in March stance, mind you, but... Oh, you won't take attrition here. Huh, I thought we used to take attrition here. Wait, oh, we've destroyed the corruption, the vampiric corruption here completely. Wow, -12 and -8. Damn, Volky, you did well. You did well, my friend. Alrighty, well then, instead, we'll put you into March stance, which kind of hurts because it's SFO, but it is what it is. And then we'll see if these guys are willing to fight. I doubt it. I'm 99% sure this little army is going to run, but then we'll give siege, and then we will hit it next turn once we are no longer in March. Alrighty, now, well, let's get the points just in case we do fight, however. Sigmar's Ward is not going to be super useful to us. We do want Emperor's Finest maxed out, however. Both of you have your officer squads now. And we want to get We Are the Elite on both of you. We also want to get Veteran Training, but that'll be at rank 20 only. Alrighty, We Are the Elite for you as well there, friendo. Beautiful. Alrighty, hopefully all the extra armor on the Free Company once they are high enough ranked is going to be very nice. I also want to figure out whether we actually want 2 great cannons in this particular army. Is it too much? We could replace them, but is 4 artillery too much? They don't really benefit from the buffs that Volkmar gives, so kind of meh. Also, let's level up our Grey Wizard, who does have maxed out Pit of Shades. Let's get him Earthing, because it'll be overcast constantly. I love that spell so much. And let's see. 99% sure they won't fight, but who knows? Maybe they'll think because our army is weak. No, okay. No dice. No dice, but oh well. At least we can prevent them from recruiting. Let's siege it up a little bit. We don't really have much of a use for the siege equipment here, but it's okay. And just wait until next... Oh. Huh. You can switch into channeling stance. Interesting. And regular stance, but... well, I wasn't expecting that. We could actually fight right now. I don't see why not. Let's fight right now. Alrighty, well then, let's see what we're facing off against now. Look at this frickin' stack. Wait, actually, this frickin' stack, as I call it, just reminded me of 2 things. First of all... Oh, damn, we don't have Vision of Kotep yet. Okay, never mind. We'll check it later. I wanted to see whether he has the tier 5. Should we just pay him now for the Defensive Alliance so that we know? You know, let's just pay him now. Screw it. Although, our relationship with him will probably increase over the next couple of turns, which will probably make it cheaper, but it's not like he wants $1 billion money for this. -8, 5.4k. At the end of the day, it's not so bad. You sure talk a lot, Kat, about screw it. I'm one to talk. Alrighty, there you go. And let's see what we're looking at. Is your... this Cleric Spire is at tier 4. It does give us access to Shabti with Great Bow, as well as Tomb Scorpion. And let's hope that he upgrades it and, well, doesn't lose it. Alrighty, well, this gives us a vision of the Heralds of Ariel, who are not going to be happy with us for this treaty. Oh, but they would be willing to go for a non-aggression pact. You know what, let's do it just in case. Maybe we could be friends with them both, somehow.
If we must.
If we declare war on a bunch of Dark Elf factions, they might like us. Are you actually fighting all the Dark Elf factions? Yeah, go fight the Cult of Pleasure. Leave Katep alone. He's just sitting in his desert, minding his own business. He's not going to your forests. Circle of... Okay, yes, and he's attacking Dark Elves for you. Come on, man. Alrighty, well, let's build in the outpost here in Cleric Spire, your capital. Construct outpost. You share an enemy with this faction that is far... Yeah, thanks. Alrighty, and does he have any quests for us right away? He does not, but oh well. Alright, Katep, you better be worth it. We just spent 10,000 gold on you, and while that's only a fraction of the money we make per turn, nonetheless. Can you go into trenches? You can. And then trenches it shall be, and yeah, probably the most elite Tomb King stack we are going to face. Well, I suppose the Pyramid of Nagash as well, but should be pretty interesting. I'm very curious to see whether we can actually win this, because if they can block a gate, this will be a problem. Anyway, here we go. Alrighty, you say it once, but I don't quite think it will be at once. Anyway, here we go, Arcan's last stronghold, or the stronghold of, or last stronghold of the followers of Nagash, as I don't think we will be seeing Arcan again. Now, this is looking like a pretty hard target with all of those darn constructs in the enemy settlement, though of course the enemy really did goof by sending that army with the Necrosphinx out of the territory last episode. They really should have kept that in the settlement to make it much more difficult to take. Granted, they already have a Necrosphinx somewhere in there, but, well, two's always better, isn't it? Anyway, we're going to begin the battle by bombarding the enemy walls as best we can, both to destroy the enemy infantry and to knock those walls down. There isn't too much in the way of infantry in the enemy settlement, as most of them are once again constructs, but there is certainly enough for our Fire Rain rockets or our Hellstorm rocket batteries to get on with it. Now, I have decided to, in this particular situation, actually target the rockets at the wall rather than the units directly on top, but mostly just as a test. I wanted to see whether the relative inaccuracy of the Hellstorms would be enough to not only hurt the wall, but also damage the units on top of it, and it's somewhat true. As we can see, it's taking a little bit of damage on the units, but funnily enough, this would have been the units that were destroyed when the walls come down anyway. So, kind of pointless to do that, I think. Could just have the cannons directly target the wall in this particular situation. And the reason I also wanted to test that was because obviously once you tell your unit to target an AI infantry squad with a rocket battery, or, well, any artillery, the unit will just get off the walls and not take damage, whereas in splash damage from attacking something else, the AI won't care nearly as much about. It's generally a lot more effective, though, not to target the wall like this, but rather target towers with the rocket batteries, as the splash damage from towers does significantly impact the units around. Anyway, we can now target a little more at the enemy unit, or the wall, whatever, it doesn't really matter, and because once again the enemy doesn't have that much in the way of infantry, and the rocket batteries are completely useless against constructs. Alrighty, and on the bright side, that Tomb Guard unit is nearly done for, and there will be more and more artillery moving onto the field. 2 more cannons to make 4, and then 3 mortars as well. So 9 artillery pieces are gonna make a, well, maybe not quick work of all those units in there, but they'll make work of them eventually. Anyway, I think with that we can just speed up the matter, because we get the gist of the bombardment at this point. We got a lot of breaches in this wall to make. I'm gonna knock down the gate, maybe make a few breaches so that we can use or move multiple units into the settlement at the same time. So here we go. Speed that up a little bit. There we go. Breach number 2, working on breach number 3, and gonna start on that gate as well. And as soon as both are down, we can start moving our units in as well. Tomb Guard are doing an okay job at dodging the rocket batteries as well, as we can see. But hardly surprising. Good job considering the slowness of the Tomb Guard. And gate's about to go down. I think that other piece of wall is about to crumble as well. There it goes, nearly there. I see that the Realm of Souls has also activated. And most of the enemy infantry is pretty much gone. I think those those units of infantry that have moved away from the walls are so badly damaged at this point, they're down to slivers of HP. Alrighty, and as the infantry moves up just a little bit closer to target the dregs of the enemy infantry or the remnants, and oh, there's a Tomb Prince up here. Alright, well, if you're gonna stand up there, the cannons are gonna kill you there, friendo. And you're down to half HP. Yeah, looks like the cannons will bring him down. About a 7-minute long bombardment so far, but obviously massively sped up the entire time. And we are going to start moving our units. And summoned units first, of course, the handgunners and the command squads, just so that they can get a few shots off. But obviously we don't care if they live or die, and due to their, well, summoned status. Keep marching forward, but make good use of those breaches. You should be able to fire through them. I hope. There we go. Oh, yeah, the command squad's at least firing through them. The handgunners don't seem to wanna, but that's fine. And we can use them to support anyway later on. And the enemy Tomb Princes, or should be done for. There we go. He's lost an arm and has begun to crumble. Oh my. Alright, well, that one took him out. Very nice. Down goes the Tomb Prince. And the rest of our units should now be moving forward as well. Here come our Empire Captains, or just generally our command squad, of which we have 5 units of the melee fighting variety, led by Volkmar, of course, as well as the Grey Wizard and Bright Wizard together. Though their usefulness against constructs in particular may be somewhat limited in this particular situation. And all that remains in the enemy army is pretty much constructs at this point. Yeah, Tomb Guard, tiny amounts, but those will start crumbling away after a couple of seconds of contact with the enemy. Anyway, command squads moving in. We got 4 units of halberdiers, which are going to lead the charge, because obviously they're anti-large. And also they're quite expendable, as they're going to get replaced by disciples. And we got some... What the heck is Volkmar doing? We got some crypt horrors moving in, but it looks like they'd rather back off than fight directly. And it does, they sort of baited us to chase them, while the Ushabti with Great Bow fire away. Unfortunately for said Ushabti, here come the Empire Captains, as well as Volkmar and the rest of the command squad, and they're going to tie them up and prevent them from firing, while the rest of our halberdiers move in. We see the Necrosphinx also bounding towards us, together with those Crypt Horrors, but we're going to activate the damage resistance aura from, I want to say, Shield of Faith? Grand Shield of Faith, yeah, thanks. To try to take a little bit less damage from the Necrosphinx. Here come the halberdiers, the mere mortal men that the buffs that Volkmar has like to talk about. I always like doing infantry view occasionally, though. Just seeing the enemy sort of tower over those said mere mortal men. And Necrosphinx has got to be a pretty scary one. Alrighty, and, well, you know what? Ushabti are pretty scary, too. seeing those Kopesh's rise and fall has to not be pretty high on your list of some things you want to see as an infantryman. You gotta love Necrosphinxes though, and this is why I want to get them from Katep. Could be great to get a few of them in our army, even if we can't repair them as we don't have Necrotechs available for us. Anyway, we move more units into the city. Free Company Militia are going to follow the Halberdiers in, and as we can see, the Crypt Horrors, the Necrosphinx, and the Ushabti the Great Bow are already very badly damaged. In fact, the Necrosphinx should begin to crumble away shortly. We also have the Knights of Moor and the Demigryph Knights moving in, and they are going to split off from the main infantry coast and directly charge Ushabti with Great Bow to hopefully prevent them from firing, and soon perhaps get a nice little duel with some Necroserpents or Necropolis Knights who are riding Necroserpents. Alright, there we go, very nice, and it looks like the Necrosphinx falls, and let's see, there is a Tomb Scorpion, however, ready to take its place. Volkmar is also moving away to fight the enemy lord, and I just saw the enemy lord lose like a quarter of his HP with a hit, so I imagine that one should go in our favor. With our Free Company Militia having moved in, they're also providing some nice fire support to all this, firing on those enemy Ushabti, and doing quite a bit of damage by the looks of it. And they will also help with the Tomb Scorpion, as these guys are just so difficult to tie down when you're using regular infantry. Though by the looks of it, a lot of our regular infantry are going to get shot up as well. But we can hardly do anything about that. Fortunately, the Tomb Scorpion's already in a horrible shape between all the Lord units and Hero units, as well as those Free Company. Volkmar has nearly gotten rid of the enemy Tomb King, and it looks like we have defeated that unit of Ushabti with Great Bow, and are going to charge into the back of these Necropolis Knights, who are doing a pretty decent job holding us back here. They are the Halberd type of Necropolis Knights after all. We've also got our command squads, or our officer squads rather, and the handgunners who are up here now, and are firing down to help support. And there we go, Volkmar. Looks like you should have the enemy lord in a few seconds. He's not crumbling away yet, but Volkmar does hit decently hard, so I think 2 more hits. And down he goes. Those were some quick 2 hits. Alrighty, he's down, the enemy Ushabti, and the Scorpion lies broken, and we move further into the city to tie up the rest of the Ushabti with Great Bow. The Necropolis Knights completely surrounded by Demigryphs and Knights More now, and are now going to move further, and well, if it isn't more Necropolis Knights. At the very least, they can stop us from rushing into the enemy Ushabti for a little while. Although I don't imagine it'll be too long, and we are still getting support from that command squad, officer squad, damn it. There we go. Yeah, considering the officer squads are a small unit formation, or a low model count unit, it seems like it's a particularly good use of them to put them up on the walls like this to add fire support. They don't do a crazy amount of damage. Let's see here, officer squad, yeah, 1800 damage so far, but, you know, nonetheless. I wonder what they'd be best used for in terms of targeting. A single entity, like a giant, maybe? Or would it be, I mean, yeah, I doubt that they have splash damage shots, like from their missile damage, right? So I doubt a single shot could kill more than a single unit of infantry, so it's probably best not to bother using them against infantry. Anyway, the Necropolis Knights crumble away, and the Ushabti with Great Bow are gonna do the same. There's at least 1 more unit here, though it's not going to be around for much longer, as the Grand Master, the 2 Empire Captains, and the Warrior Priest bring them down. And there we go, just like that, all the constructs but 1 have been destroyed, and I imagine this one will be crumbling away, though it's actually taking quite a while. We'll just charge towards it. 1 more charge in the battle will be ours Ushabti facing off against Demigryphs with halberds. Not a great matchup for the Ushabti either. And here come the Knights of Moor to help out. Man, the Knights of Moor actually look a lot fancier than the Demigryph Knights do. Despite the stats disparity. I guess you don't really need to be fancy when you're a Demigryph Knight, just considering how powerful your, well, mostly your mount is, but generally you are. they put all their money into getting the mount rather than into their fancy armor. Anyway, looks like the last of the Ushabti are going to be knocked out, and with that, the battle will end. Ooh, nice final hit on this Ushabti. Just see where the explosion is. Huh, surprisingly, it doesn't look to be as centered. Interesting. I wonder if these explosions happen randomly along the body. Well, there's probably particular locations where I don't know, seams come apart and the construct falls apart. Although these guys kind of just sort of go into, I don't know, they just go rigid and sort of fall down when the soul escapes the body that is possessing the construct, right? And then the construct is no more. Anyway, there we go, a decisive victory, and it looks like we didn't suffer all that much damage. Certainly not a Pyrrhic one. And the bombardment helped. The halberdiers did a good job, and of course our knights and our command squad did fantastic at preventing all those scary Ushabti with great bow from killing us as we moved into the city. I guess by knocking out all the enemy infantry, the enemy couldn't stop us essentially from preventing the Ushabti from, well, making good use of their damage. So well done, everybody. Alrighty, not too bad at all. Disappointing amount of prestige rewarded for a tier 5 settlement. Considering the prestige costs late into the game for a single ancillary, or a single adjutant, which is like 5 to 6k, 200 at this point is just, I don't know, it's just oddly little. Feeling like that might need to be adjusted, or the price of the adjutants needs to be adjusted down, perhaps, something along those lines. Anyway, Wizard Caliph's palace is going to be occupied. That honestly went far better than I thought it would. But I guess when you have 9 pieces of artillery bombarding the enemy settlement, it really does help. A bunch of you got a bunch of random items, or okay, you got a something random item. You don't need the gem. We will probably delete it and turn it into something a lot more useful. You can also get channeling stance, and there we go. Damn. Why is this a tier 2 and not a tier... if we could only capture this at the higher tier, we would have immediately been able to build the Sigmarite disciples here. Too bad. Oh well. We'll build the Council of Burgomeisters immediately. We'll keep the Tailors Guild. We'll probably want the basic walls here. Yeah, it's not threatened by any of this, but it is a coastal or coast-adjacent territory, and thus I'd rather not lose it. We could also build the Wizards Conclave here, but alternatively... Actually, maybe there... Well, I mean, still probably want the paved roads, and we'll probably need the public order once we leave. Technically, the barracks does have to be deleted here. Yeah, fine. I was hoping to make use of the additional capacity for the Empire captains. But oh well. We'll get Empire captain capacity out of elsewhere. You then are going to build both the public order building, and then we'll build either the toll roads or the Wizards Conclave thing afterwards. Lovely. Alright, and with the Great Desert of Araby Hours and not having actually fallen to these guys, although I do expect King Bofra will siege next turn. Oh, in fact, should we just leave? We don't heal as much, but we're going to be in friendly territory, and I'd rather not get sieged by this guy, so well, let's do that. Stay outside, kill King Bofra, and then, what do we have here? In Al-Haik. Close victory, eh? Honestly, if that was any judgment, this is half the stack and less, and the army is in march stance. Probably not even worth the time. Let's just auto-resolve this. Just double-checking that and nobody dies. And with that, Arcan is destroyed. Oh wait, no, that little tiny... That one lord is still alive. Alright, fine. But basically destroyed. Let's be real here. We can go for the Salt Pit immediately. We will need walls here as well, as it is a coastal province. A bit unfortunate because it'll reduce the income from the Kofar Harbor, which is a nice cash cow territory. And Huh, if we build walls here, we won't be able to build the clothier, or we won't be able to build the spices. Well, that's just tremendously unfortunate. But what can you do? Either way, we don't have money to build either thing. We do have 2 ports for growth. I was just thinking that we could build the growth building, but no, I think we're gonna go for salt. Salt it is. I'm sure the place will grow fairly quickly because we do have very high growth rates. And oh, well, Volkmar's not here, so he's not putting down all of that corruption, so the corruption is still up. Anyway, let's see what else we have to do. Gregor Rodziner, well, we don't need to check you. Why am I always checking you? Bernhard van Zanger, you are good. Nud is waiting for something. Alright, so assuming you are going to take Granite Spike, we will be fighting the Dolgan and Kolak eventually. 'Tis an eventuality, and you can't... Really? Wait, you're telling me that in camp stance you can almost reach the territory, but in regular stance you... Oh yeah, you can, okay. The game just decided to lie. Why must you lie, game? I don't appreciate it. Alrighty, well I guess we're heading to Ice Spewer. Do we actually need to fight what's there? Nah, looks like it's garbage. Alrighty, so here's what we'll do. We'll send Leopold van Blount out here to use him as a reinforcement. Not that I think that Nud needs it, mind you. Ooh, Nud, you're level 15. You need... Let's see, you have Speed of Horse now maxed out. We could grab Bolstered Leadership. Might not be the worst thing in the world. Let's go Bolstered Leadership. Alrighty. Making headway, and then your Warrior Priest. Alright, Impassioned, none of the good stuff yet, but it's fine. We'll get to it, and Mr. Theon, our oldest and most powerful mage. Improved Scrying Techniques is up. We could get another point in Curse of the Wind Night Wind. We do use it quite a bit. Same thing with Wind Blast, though that is only applicable to when the enemies are relatively weak. The goblins, the marauders, all the stuff in this particular area are certainly susceptible to it. Chain Lightning does have uses as well against massive hordes of enemies. You know what, in fact, let's get a point in Chain Lightning. We have improved Scrying Techniques, we do want more stuff there. We just have to be careful with the rest of our points so that we can still get Potent. And Onslaught, especially as the weapon strength will help these guys out further. Alrighty, Nud, away you go. Should be quite auto-resolvable. I don't believe Kolek can reach us from where he is anyway. And yes, auto-resolve it. Lovely. Another Griffin banner. Very nice find. Occupy. I did want all of our legendary lords to have a Griffin banner. And, oh, we got a White Cloak of Ulrich. Okay, well, it's not going on Leopold van Blount. That's our second Cloak of Ulrich, incidentally. We'll put this on somebody else. Somebody who makes good use of it, as in, who fights in melee a lot. And the Jingard and the Grimguard and these, well, all of these guys could potentially use it. I guess we could theoretically put it on Claude Ivan. But at the end of the day, this army's strength isn't the Halberdiers. It's the various Knights Panther. Also, I did want to get a captain in here as well. Let's just check what we have here. Empire Captain, Monster Tracker, Noble. I don't particularly like these, even though Monster Tracker does kind of make sense for the Knights Panther army, considering it's all anti-large, but nonetheless. Anyway, you're gonna go here. I guess you don't need to be defending Saber Mountain anymore. Unless we get then the biggest Wa endgame scenario, in which case you will need to return to it. But for now, cancel the Burgomeisters. Oh wow, public order here is horrendous. Probably because we just conquered a place, but, you know. Nah, alright. Oh, it's also... Yeah. There's also 2 red territories. We really need a public order building here. I fear that we may have to let the barracks go. What's our Empire Captain capacity? 9 out of 12. Man, it's gonna run out. You know, I'll think about it. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but we shall see. Who else needs to move? Bernhardt, we checked you already. Gotrek, you will be gone soon. Balthy, yes. Balthy. You... I need to sail out to Gronti Mingle, which is actually about to rebel. And I guess we can start fighting the top nods here. Not that there's a great need to fight them, we just need to get to Ekrund. And we don't have the underway stance like the dwarves do. I'm a little bit worried that as soon as we leave the place, an army will jump here, but it's not like we can really do anything about it. Also, is this auto-resolvable? What do we... Yeah, this looks like garbage. Go here, please. And we'll have to send your reinforcing army out to you. Alright. We are going to... join this war by talking to you. Barak Var, who hate us, but I'd rather not fight them, so we will join your war against the Top-Knots. 2.3. Oh, or alternatively, we declare war on them directly, which will draw all of our friends in, and make everybody love each other. Alright, fine. We'll declare war on them directly. Ooh, hello, there's an actual little army here. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna jump out here. Not that we care about any of these territories, but these ones we certainly don't want to go back to, or don't want to have to go back to. Anyway, you declare war. And tech. Land, auto-resolve, no damage, 6 units lost. Wow, auto-resolve, not screwing us. I'm shocked. I don't know what got into you, auto-resolve. We are going to occupy the place, just temporarily, mind you. Another Dawnstone. Oh, I'm loving all these items that we're finding lately. Nearly every battle at this point, and we just gotta get more mages and even more scrying. I do wonder... is it always just random what item you find, or are there times when, or does increasing the percentage actually increase the likelihood of finding a higher quality item? I never actually bothered looking into that. Also because I've never really had that super high magic finding chance that I recall, so yeah. Alrighty, anything else that we gotta do this turn? Kurt Lehman, you, now you're staying where you are. Kurt Helborg, you're waiting for 3 turns until you, or 2 turns, until your demigriffs are ready. But otherwise you're basically good to go, you just need your life mage. Heinz Weber, I don't know who you are, but I do... You know, I've checked this guy like every time, and every time like I don't know who you are, but oh well. Weigel, are we ready to move you out? Nah, Feldman Ingerson is just sitting there, so he could move out. But Boris could also go to him, so that could work out. We'll have to steal his Karlberg greatswords eventually, but well, oh well. Emil Klein, no, you don't need to move. Ulrich Hall rather. I made you for a reason. But I don't remember what that reason was. Oh, right, you're a noble. I was thinking that it could increase Altdorf's income. Well, we're up at 8.2k, which ain't too bad. A few more wizards and we might get it up to 10k. That's pretty ridiculous. Ralph Altman, okay, neither of you guys need to move, and that's it. Let's do diplomacy. Oh, we have a quest from Wissenland. Not that I think we care about a quest from Wissenland, mind you, but nonetheless. We could take one of these just because it exists. And sometimes when you take a quest from one faction, other faction's quests reset, but it doesn't look like that happened this time. Also, we can't build an outpost here, and we cannot build an outpost here. These are all outpostable. Defenders of the Great Plan. There's no point in building an outpost in the Defenders of the Great Plan, right? They don't actually have buildings that allow them to get units, do they? Unlocks recruitment of Saurus Spears and Saurus Warriors. Yes, so I'm thinking there isn't any point to it. That's fine. And oh wow, they're kind of on the back foot as well. They might be dying. But that's their problem right now. Anyway, diplomacy.
Heed me.
Great orthodoxy. I'm still tempted to ally with you, and at the same time somewhat tempted to just kill you and take Erengrad. I would like access to more of your units. We do have trade agreement. We could get a trade going with the Ropsman clan, for example. It looks like they're not losing Prague. I was thinking that they would lose it, but just isn't. It's seeming less and less likely. Lazargs, huh. Might be nice to have ogre allies. There are occasional ogre allies in the Empire. And Druzhina Enclave will die. Yeah, you know what? Let's do Robsman clan. I'm still not sure about the Orthodoxy. Non-aggression pact and military access. You guys aren't hated by Kislev, are you? Well, not really. Not the main Kislev faction, anyway. Now let's keep them alive. I was gonna come in, kill them, and then trade their stuff to Catherine, but... Katerin, rather. But I feel like we don't really need to do this, do we? Although they are kind of in the same territory, ugh. You know what? No. I might still have somebody turn around and attack him. Military access, military alliance with the spirits of Shanlin, and Hexoatl really wants peace, but you know, that, well, they created the problem. Oh well, and no diplomacy to do, and you know what, I think we're kind of out of time, but nonetheless I'm gonna end the turn here. I just want to see what Morathi does. Will she attack? Or will she not? You know what? We should get the points assigned just in case she does. Oh man, you guys have 2 points. Alright, in Pistol Corps, and we could go hold the line, which would be useful. And we could also go Sleight of Hand, powering you up personally. Is this better than just Seasoned Marksman? Yeah, it's better. 20% reload for a single point. We were also trying to head towards Executioner, but for a single point, it's pretty nice. Should probably also get you that missile resistance. Alrighty, you next. You are going to. You have picked them off. We don't really need cunning. Enemy armor reduction and enemy process isn't bad. It's only 4 though, and I think we prefer Prevaneth Rema earlier. And next up, you, Mr. Hunter. You have extra powder. You have resourceful. We can then get. We don't have artillery in this army. And I don't believe that'll apply to war wagons. Or would it apply to mortar war wagons? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Let's get the increased mobility for the army. And I was just wondering whether that would actually allow us to sail out and attack Morathi, but I doubt it. Let's not do anything. Scarred veteran for you, I think. True Hero Bretonium, yeah, that's all fine. And next up, you. What do we get to you? You got Tools of Judgment available, but it's not that good by the looks of it. Enemy of the Undead is relatively useless to us at the current time. Magic Resistance, you know what, let's get the free ward save. You are, after all, getting hit periodically. And then last, but not least, our Light Mage, who spams Net of Ammontok when he can. He does have improved scrying techniques. Barona's Time Warp, sadly, does not increase reload. I believe I've said that before, and I don't really care for banishment as much as Net of Ammontok in this army. Which means I think we're just gonna go scouting for even more. Ooh, Thaw's Protection though. We do use it quite a bit. The melee defense is quite useful. Nah, let's go Thaw's Protection. Alright. Oh, and Research, my bad. Let's get the Rune Fang Pact and continue. Skip, 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 skip. No commandments available. Then we end the turn and we see where Morathi goes. We won't fight the battle even if she attacks us. When we can start the next episode off with that. I'm just very curious. Too curious to end the episode. Oh, for the love of... Well, that ain't great. Why would Nagaryth, who were super weak, do this? Man. Now we have to choose between Nagaryth and the Exiles. You know, as odd as this may seem, I think we're gonna go with the Exiles. They're occupying the desert here. They're probably less likely to die than Nagaryth are. Nagaryth are completely surrounded by Dark Elves. Sorry, Lethanar. This was just an idiotic move on your part, to be perfectly honest. Man, the other High Elves won't be happy about this, but what can you do? We even get more money from the Exiles. Yeah. Oh, Nagaryth. Well, I was hoping that something interesting would happen, and something interesting did happen. Okay, I thought that the game was going to crash there for a second. I saw some weird little a blue square on the screen there. Did anybody else see that? Or was that on my monitor? What is this? Rakarth has declared war. Were we not at war with Rakarth? Huh, okay, sure. Go for it, buddy. Good luck. Good luck. And yeah, Marcus is busy up north, but I sincerely doubt that Rakarth is going to be all that threatening to us, let's face it. Oh wow, the followers of Nagash didn't actually attack us? And it looks like we're past Morathi, aren't we? Alright, so Morathi's not going to attack us either, which means she probably went south. Ostermark's willing to confederate, but we need the Imperial Authority much more, so assert independence. Besides, Ostermark is one of the more useless ones. Scheme of Doom performed. Clan Molder, don't care. Ally begins outpost construction. Settlement besieged. Wizard Caliph's palace. Surrender imminent. Not so imminent. Goodbye. So managed to lose you too. And there we go with the... Oh. Are you really alive? Are you really still alive from that? You gotta be kidding me. Wa fails, yada yada, ready for duty, break the allies' foe, whatever. Free war banner, not bad.
Sigmar be praised.
Kill. Probably could have leached some XP, but I just wanted the faction dead ASAP. And there we go. Now the followers of Nagash are destroyed. They are buried, but I'm sure the hat will return. You cannot stop the hat. Anyway, what I wanted to see was where Morathi went. Oh, she ran away. Huh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting her to land at the Temple of Kara, but she decided that that was also not going to work. Well, isn't that lovely? Anyway, with that, I am going to call the episode here. We could also try to draw the other elves into fighting Nagaroth, since they've decided to fight our dear, dear friend Katep. And just before I forget, just gonna cancel. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Runefang Pact was 5 last turn when we started building it, but now it's still 5. Odd. Did we lose research rate? Did we have a research rate buff that we just lost? And what would have caused us to lose it? Well, that's interesting. I wonder why. Well, either way, not super important, I suppose. Oh, could it have something to do with attacking Nagaroth? Or attacking... Odd. Anyway, calling it here. Next time, Marcus probably moves out to take Pahwax a second time. Nud continues his fighting against the various orcs around where he is, and we continue moving northward to bail out Boris Ursus, though by the looks of it, he's not doing too bad himself. Watch him take Stormvrak Mount without our intervention. But anyway, we're landing here and we're gonna start giving him these territories just so that he has a bulwark in case he accidentally loses his main territory. I really don't want him to die. Anyway, more Empire to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.